Hello and welcome back to another Stonksy video. Today we're going to be looking at the latest update that is coming to the Oscillator, looking at the features that have been added, the changes, and of course how it can benefit you with using it to do your trading. But please do make sure you drop a like on the video, make sure you subscribe if you're new, and of course make sure you check the links in the description. Sign up to BLOFIN. It is a non-KYC exchange and offers fantastic trading capabilities. And of course, make sure you do sign up to Stonksy as well to get this. Of course, you can also still sign up for the Stonksy Oscillator plan only. So this is obviously the breakaway plan where it just offers the Oscillator and Discord access. So you don't get full indicator access like you'll see on screen at the moment here. So the background color change, the arrows, the channels, all the other stuff. You will just get this here, the Oscillator and Discord access. But of course, that is a standalone package that is cheaper than the monthly one, which contains everything. So if you do obviously watch this video and you think I want to come and give the Oscillator a go, make sure you try that out. It's not much at all, £44 a month. That is not much, is it, to add a fantastic tool to your trading? So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so as you will see on the screen at the moment, the histogram is no longer in a flat yellow color. So obviously for you Stonksy users, you'll know previously obviously the histogram, which is the measurement obviously under the line for either side of the Oscillator. Yeah, it's no longer in a flat yellow color. It has been switched over to two potential options. Obviously, the first that you can see at the moment is a mixture of red and green. So this update incorporates variable colors into this metric to grant further information on potential future price swings. So as you can see on the moment, we've got the bull/bear section, which converts the histogram into a green or red gradient, hinting at long and short positions within the general trend. So that's what you can see at the moment. Obviously, we've flipped down to say a different time frame, say the 5 minute. As you can see, yeah, plenty of indication going on while we look at the shift in momentum and shift in price movement. Now, there is another thing that makes up the change to the histogram as well, which I'll show you now. So as you can see on the screen now, the histogram has changed from a mixture of clear into deep purple. Now, this is the other option that users can choose. So this is gradient that runs obviously throughout clear into a dark purple, which will show the strength of a current trend, with the dark purple being the strongest trend and the clear being the weakest. So as you can see here, changes in from into dark, and this gives obviously the user the choice to run both. Now you may be wondering, how do you switch between both? It's in the settings. So you go into your Stonksy settings. The purple is the slope setting, and the red and green one is the gradient one. So much like everything else, this gives users full customization in changing the settings to how they want, or just use them as the standard ones that we have put on there. But as you can see, it's a big changeover, and obviously it offers very different potential trading strategy, and obviously a different aspect on looking at indications and momentum in the market for users, and gives them obviously that added bonus of being able to switch through these slope and gradients to see what is exactly going on in the market, and obviously paired with the line at the same time as well. So just to round off on obviously the histogram changes that we've added into the Oscillator, so it's clear for you guys watching the video. The red and green on the histogram hints at long and short positions within the general trend, whereas the purple, the clear to purple, shows strength of the current trend, and obviously if it's getting stronger or if it's getting weaker. So that is how you can then switch between them both and decide obviously which works best for you or what you find most effective. So now we've covered the histogram updates and exactly what they mean. Let's move on to the other updates that are coming to the Oscillator that also provide huge value and offer some great information, indications, and potential signals that could mark some key pivots in the market. So these are denoted by small dots. So if we zoom out, you will be able to see some dot come in to the Oscillator here. You can see at the top small red dots here. You will also have some small green ones at the bottom. Now these don't come in too often at all. These are points where it suggests that the trend is ending, so i.e. uptrend, downtrend. If you get them at the top here, obviously the red ones will appear at the top. This suggests that the trend may be over, or at least exhausting. It suggests that potentially maybe looking for a short position may be the right decision in the market. And obviously for the opposition down here, now you will have to obviously take note that these crosses here, here and here, they are not the dots. The dots, obviously, you know, you can see the difference there between a cross and a dot, but these are different ones. So you will also have green ones that come in at the bottom. Now these are rare signals, so they don't appear too often. In fact, you'll more than likely see the crosses appear more than the dots. But obviously, to the opposite side, the dots on the bottom, the green ones, suggest that it may be time to look for a long, see what's happening in the market. The downtrend may be exhausting or over, and looking for a long may be the right decision. So you can obviously see down here, obviously the dots came in, then we tailed off. Dot came in, and then we tailed off. Just two examples there for you looking at the 1 hour chart. So that is the two other things to look out for on the oscillator. And then of course we have the crosses that you can see at the moment here, with the green crosses and the purple crosses. Just the thing to note, at the time of recording, the update isn't out, so we may end up changing one or potentially two of the colours. So if when you're watching this video, when you load up the oscillator, if potentially, you know, the green, the crosses, or maybe the dots are a different colour, maybe we'll look at swapping out the dot colour so it doesn't clash too much with the cross colour potentially. Just know that they're doing the exact same thing as I've just mentioned. It's just the fact that we just changed the colour upon release to make it just look obviously more clear on the indicator. That is potentially one thing, but it may just look exactly like I've loaded up here too. So obviously we've covered the dots, what that shows, looking for a trade in the opposite direction to where the market is going. Now, obviously I'll bring your attention to the crosses. So the crosses basically suggest oversold regions in the market. So obviously we have the dot that look for, you know, points in time where it go, okay, this may be a time when you look for a trade in the opposite direction. But what the crosses are is basically taking a number of metrics that measure momentum and directional trend in the market and suggesting, okay, now we may be seeing momentum roll over. Now that doesn't necessarily mean, okay, look for, you know, a short or a long in the market, like obviously the dot are suggesting. This is showing you, okay, well maybe momentum is becoming, you know, in this instance, in the green, overbought. So potentially Bitcoin is becoming overbought. And as you can see, it's shown that all the way up to here. But that's gone at the moment. So now that suggests that, okay, well, because this is gone, Bitcoin is around the same area. But either then metrics are starting to reset themselves. So potentially, you know, Bitcoin could go again. Or this could ring true, and this was calling overbought, and then, you know, maybe the price movement is just a bit delayed because it's still consolidating. So that is the difference. And of course, if we zoom out, you can see the same comes in for the reversal too. So downside movement coming in, overbought. Okay, you know, potentially Bitcoin is overbought here. And again, you know, you can see more instances in that here, all along here. So you can see there, purple arrow, green arrow, looking for overbought and oversold regions using a multitude of momentum indications. And then the dots are saying, okay, now might be a point in time where, you know, you look for a direct swap in trend to the opposite side. So hopefully you got that. If you didn't, rewind it and watch it again. But yeah, two fantastic additions there alongside the histogram. Obviously looking at direct, okay, potentially look for a long and short here, or the crosses where they suggest, okay, maybe we're coming into a point of oversold and overbought region here. And then maybe you pair that with obviously what else Stonksy is saying to identify points of, okay, I'm going to hit the trade to the opposite direction now. But that is all for today's video. So I do hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're going to take advantage of these changes with the histogram, looking at the gradient or the slope for different variables of momentum and price action. And then, of course, taking advantage of the arrows and the dots that come in on the oscillator itself to really look at positions in time. And if we go back and actually have a look, you can see, I'll just cover this before go off. You can see here's one example, overbought position coming in, Bitcoin bounces to the upside. If we go across, pull that down a bit, you can see here we got a suggestion of overbought, price comes down. If we go across again, we can see now this one come in, and this is obviously a good example of where this differs from the dot, because even though we got an overbought signal here, Bitcoin then continued to consolidate, and obviously when the crosses went off, the metrics started to reset themselves then, because Bitcoin was consolidating and wasn't moving anywhere. So that is obviously one to look at, where you can go, okay, yeah, this is something where, you know, you maybe need to look at other factors, whether it be SR, the background color change, the channels, or obviously the oscillator direction in itself. Again, here you can see we had oversold come in, Bitcoin then come in here, and then consolidated, and then obviously ended up reversing. So you can see these, obviously you can go on and you can go to any time frame you want on any asset and go back and have a look for yourselves with the dots, with the crosses, to look at obviously past performance. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Of course, if you do want to get oscillator access, you can do it in two ways. You can come and choose the oscillator only package, which is £44 a month. That gets you oscillator and Discord access. Or of course you can choose the monthly option, which is £145, but you do get 20% off your first month with code BOT20. So if you put that in at checkout, this one comes down to 116, and you get the indicator, the oscillator, Discord server, and trading bots on that one. They're your two ways of getting it. And of course, lifetime and annual package is just flat. You get everything regardless for whatever one you choose. But please do make sure you drop a big like on the video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.